Yeah, it's me, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, and I'm going here to talk about the James Bond. Yeah, the movie. It's called The Spy Who Loved Me. Yeah, and it stars Roger Moore as James Bond. Yeah, and he has this girl with nice boobs, and she's from Russia, and she has nice boobs, and they try to stop this bad guy who wants to live under the sea like the Little Mermaid. And then there's this big henchman with the shiny teeth, and he tries to eat the shark. Yeah, yeah. Even I'm not that stupid. Yeah. Okay, I'm done. It was a little gag I started doing while waiting for the movie to finish up, and so yes, the spy who loved me, James Bond, Roger Moore, is back once again, uh, with Barbara Bach. I think that's how you say her name, as Agent Anya Amanrova. I don't know how to say the name, from Russia. And Richard Kiel makes his first of two appearances as Jaws. And a bit that gets kind of annoying after a while, I think. But this has been heralded as the best James Bond movie of Roger Moore's run. And I can see why. It has a lot of fun stuff in it. First of all, a submarine has been taken. And so the Russians, they send out their best, Triple X, Agent Triple X. And of course, the British, they send out James Bond. And I like how he's with a woman. And like, we got to tell him to pull out. And they show he's with a woman under a rug or something. Under blankets. It's like, oh, I get it, pull out. We get this nice little ski chase thing at the beginning of the film, and he kills a Russian agent who just so happens to be Triple X's boyfriend, who she was with at the beginning of this film. So that leads in. And I love Roger Moore's performance in this film. It is his best performance, and it's true what they say. Every Bond has their best performance in the third outing, in the third film. And it was his best performance. He is on cue here, except for one scene, really, that it's when Jaws is attacking a van that he and Anya are in, and he's just throwing out quip after quip when they're trying to escape. The point of this scene should be to build tension as they're trying to escape, as Jaws is literally ripping open the van with his bare hands, and you have Bond spewing out quips like, I put it in reverse, that's backwards, darling. You want me to drive? Women drivers. Just, nah, you know? Didn't really need that. And like I said with Jaws, it does get over repetitive when he shows up, there's a big fight scene, and then they just show him escaping. Like, there's the fight scene where he's doing that, and then he gets buried underneath a bunch of rubble, and his hand sticks out, showing that he's going to survive. Or later, when he just shows up on their train and gets thrown out the window to just dust himself off and walk away. And then at the end, when he fights the shark and he bites the shark and the whole thing explodes, we see him bob up in the water and start swimming away. It's like, we get it. He's indestructible. Give us some mystery as to whether or not he survived. You know what I mean? Just, yeah, he's indestructible. We get it. He can't be stopped. Other than a magnet attracting his teeth. The villain in this, Stromberg, he's not. I like Scaramanga better. I was surprised to find out that Having the Golden Gun is not one of the better ones. I actually really like that movie. I like this movie too, but the villain is a low point in this. And I think Roger Moore and Barbara Bach have great chemistry in this film. But you can tell that Barbara Bach has been looped in post-production, and it's kind of jarring. But for the most part, you know, she's decent. She's very good. I always like how they managed to put M's office in a different place. Different places and stuff. Like, there was in a submarine in Thunderball. Here, it's in a freaking pyramid in Egypt. Yeah, Moneypenny sitting there. And I like how they kind of switch it around because they walk in, they find actually find the head of the Russian Secret Service, whatever you call it, sitting there, and then M walks in, and he calls him M. Miles, and that's his name in the book, but we never hear that in the movies until this one. And M has someone to talk to. And Q, I love Q. All right, Desmond Llewellyn is Q. It's fantastic in this film. There's gives the gadgets and stuff like that. There's a thing at the end where he has to go, where Bond has to go save Anya. He's like, "You bring me the equipment that Q sent," and he brings it over. It's a freaking jet ski. He puts it together as a jet ski. I love how Bond just takes out these handlebars, or one of the guys takes out the handlebars and just goes, thinking what kind of equipment is this? But yeah, it's a jet ski he puts together. And Q's quips are always funny. He does have something funny, but I don't remember it. That's the problem that I have with these Bond movies. They're so long that it's hard to remember certain things. I don't write notes down because I don't like. I have a hard time reading my own damn writing, and two, I don't like writing stuff unless I really have to. So I have to remember the movie as I watch it, and little things like quips that Q can throw out get lost in that. But watch the Q scenes in this; they are pretty good. Desmond Llewellyn nails it. He's fantastic as Q. And I do like when Bond and Anya are checking into the hotel, they make it very known that it was booked with 2 rooms, 2 adjoining rooms, and one big area. And Bond's like, "Oh, Moneypenny." It's just like it's showing that Moneypenny still has a thing for James Bond, which we get. They may not have flirty scenes, but you can still show. I still think the best showing between her and Bond was in Majesties. I mean, there's a little bit in Diamonds Are Forever, I think it is, where she's like, "Yes, James," or was that in Live and Let Die? One of them, where she's like, "Yes, James," and he says something, she's like, because it's not even what she meant, but it's, Also, she's getting older. Bond is played by an older actor, so a little less flirty and more adjusting to the situation, more just, good old friends. That kind of works, Bernard Lee is M. He's a little more softer here than he has been in the last few films, and I guess, this was 3 years away from the last one as opposed to right after the other. But, yes, still very good. There's some good action set pieces here. There's a shootout towards the end there, or not towards the end. You think it's the end, but there's shootouts and stuff. There's good action set pieces, and I just find it weird that they're in Egypt, and then they're in Italy, and I think they go back to Egypt. I don't know. I don't know what the underwater thing is. Not in Egypt though. Italy maybe. But yeah, overall, good film. I really enjoyed it. Probably one of the higher tier Bond films for me. I really enjoyed Live and Let Die. Is this better than Live and Let Die? Maybe. I think so. It's very good. And like I said, it's Roger Moore's best performance. I do have another thing, and it's about Anya. I'm sorry. So she eventually finds out that Bond killed her boyfriend, and she says, "When this mission is over, I'm going to kill you." They're in this escape pod. She's holding a gun to him. He pops the cork on the champagne, and she's like, "I'm going. The mission is over, James." And he's like, "Can I have one last final request, darling?" It's good. She's like, "Sure. What?" And he's like, "Look at all these wet clothes." And she just smiles, and they start making out, and they do it, of course. And I'm just like, really? You're gonna... Okay, maybe she's fallen that much in love with him. There's also another scene where they're trying to one-up each other, and she mentions his wife, and he seems okay with it. Then when she starts to mention that she was killed, that's where he stops her. He's like, no, and that's the first time that Tracy is mentioned since that film. And, it shows you this is the same Bond, you know. Also, I do find it weird that she mentions the shaken not stirred thing. Like, they're one up in their drinks, and she goes, "Vodka martini, shaken not stirred," and I'm like, yeah, that was his drink. Roger Moore's Bond drinks bourbon, as I mentioned before. But the thing is, he doesn't really drink it here because they order the drinks and then he leaves. So, shh, quiet. So, yeah, and then later when she squishes Jaws with the van, she goes, shaken, not stirred. And I'm like, no, squished. It has nothing to do with shaken, not stirred. But, I don't know. It's a fun movie. I recommend it as one of the better Bond films, especially for Roger Moore, who has a sort of reputation for bad films. But I've watched the first 3 films in his run, and I think they're all pretty good so far, so I don't see the problem. And I really don't have a problem with Roger Moore being Bond. I've heard he's the worst Bond. I don't see it. Does it get worse? Also, I should mention that the end of this film says that Bond will return, and for your eyes only. That's not what we get. We get Moonraker. Why? Because the Force is strong in this one. I'll leave it at that. So what are your thoughts on The Spy Who Loved Me? In the comments below, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.